So, you've just joined a Minecraft world and you want to surprise everyone with your amazing progress. Well, what better way to do that than with a skyscraper? So basically, for this video, I've compiled 5 simple mini skyscraper designs that are actually really quick to build, but I think a very impressive early game, despite being only 30 blocks tall. One thing that makes this style of build really easy is that, as you can see by this first example here, it only uses 5 different blocks: acacia log, light grey wall, white wall, glass, and if you want, polished andesite for detailing. And I've designed them so that all of these materials are very accessible early game, given that you can find a savanna biome, of course, for this one. The wool could take some time to get, as you need to breed up a sheep farm, but that doesn't take too long, especially if you're in a savanna anyway. There's a lot of sheep and animals nearby. Another good thing about most of these designs is that a lot of the blocks can be simply switched out for other blocks that you might be able to get. So if you come across a lush cave, for example, making clay an abundant resource, you could simply replace the grey wall with clay as seen here. Now this next design I quite like, as it looks very industrial with these large outer pillars. Again, I'd say most of the blocks are changeable, so you could use white stained glass instead, or you could switch out the cyan concrete for another colour that's easier to obtain, because I know, like, if you can't find a green dye, it could be hard to get. You can probably see that this design is mostly concrete, which is fully intentional, because then, if you find sand and gravel, you should be able to build this quite quickly. And the interior wood can be changed to almost any block, to be honest. Any block would work. Moving on to these next 2 designs. These are both predominantly based around cyan terracotta, so if you happen to spawn near a lush cave, or better yet, a badlands biome, you just need cyan dye and then the resources should be easily obtainable. The first one here takes loose inspiration from an old New York style skyscraper, so the windows are far smaller, and this design is also the most space efficient and the most simple of all 5 designs, so if that's what you're going for, this is probably the one for you. This next one, however, could be slightly trickier to build, more awkward, because it uses upside down stairs, which are harder to place when pillaring up. Personally, I don't really see it as a problem, because you could just place them while building up with the terracotta pillars. I also think these 2 designs could fit in really nicely style-wise with the first design, so you could create a whole street if you want. I'll show these builds in a street context at the end of the video anyway, for if you're curious. So, lastly, here's a highly contrasting build. This is actually designed to resemble like an eco build, as it's made out of mostly wood and has these large balconies of plant life. This is one of the most achievable designs in my opinion, because all you need to do is find a forest, and then you use that to get birchwood to make the main structure. And sand and gravel are present at rivers, beaches, most biomes, so it's more than likely that you could build this no matter the world spawn. Also, the leaves, I've used a variety of azalea, flowering azalea and birch leaves, but you could just stick to one type of leaf. It depends what leaf you have access to. Alright, now that's out of the way, I'm going to build a street to show how these would look in context. Okay, so here's the street. If you want to learn how to make a street like this, I have actually made 2 videos on the subject. Anyway, I've opted for a more industrial looking street, which of course you wouldn't use for the eco skyscraper over here. But besides that, I think you can imagine the possibilities in how you could present a skyscraper. I mean, especially if you're not bothered about realism, then I think it could look epic maybe to build it on a hill, or it'd look really imposing to do so, especially for a first house. Anyway, I hope you have fun building. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.